How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Beyond the Arc, and welcome back to the weekly podcast of Beyond the Arc. We missed last week, technically. There was still a video, but it was kind of not a podcast video, obviously, as you guys know.
Mm.
We've been busy this week, though, which is why there's been no extra videos, and just the podcast this week. But at least the podcast is on time. Been a weird start to the NBA season, wouldn't you agree, Sully?
Yeah, it's been weird but good, like, because we love
Yeah.
unpredictability. Like, when these teams that are beating teams they're not meant to beat, stuff like that, we're loving it. But yeah, it's been a
You know,
strange one.
maybe some
Like,
of the best teams know things that we don't. You know, maybe Philly do just want Wembanyama, or maybe Brooklyn want Wembanyama to pair with Kyrie and KD next year. And
I mean, it would make sense. Like, if Webby joins that Nets team, and then they get Coach Udoka, they're gonna go on a three-peat season. That's what's gonna
maybe.
happen.
Well, we'll talk more about Brooklyn a little bit later. I think that we've got a lot. We got quite a bit to talk about, so I guess we'll just get
Mm.
straight into it and talk. Maybe we'll start in the West because the West has probably been the most unpredictable conference. Like
Yeah,
there was a point last week where, and I had this down for stuff that we could talk in a podcast before we didn't do it. The top four consisted of Phoenix, which I mean is understandable, even though I predicted them to do a bit dead because of all of the stuff that was happening in Phoenix. Portland, Utah, and San Antonio.
yeah,
Three of those teams probably didn't deserve to be there. I mean, Portland. Let's talk a bit about Portland because I don't think we've talked about Portland enough.
yeah.
Massive start to the season for the Trailblazers. Dame's back.
Dame is back. We low key like. We slept on him. We said we don't think he's gonna be the same Dame because he's not played basketball in like a year, 2 years. But he literally was the same Dame right from the jump. Like he must have been playing basketball every single day just at home. I don't know, maybe he's like neighbors with MJ or something and they were shooting hoops together. But whatever it is, Dame just he hasn't it doesn't seem like he's lost it at all. It looks like he literally has been gone for a week at most and he's crazy and for that the Trailblazers are really like they're now feeling just how much they missed him for the last year or so. But he's brought it back. I think he's definitely redeemed himself for all that time gone.
Yeah, definitely. And you look at the games that they have played. It's not like, and we'll talk about the Bucks a little bit later about how they've started the season really well. But the Blazers have played tough teams. Like they're the only team. They're the only
Yeah.
team that's beaten Phoenix. They beat Denver, who have had a bit of a topsy turvy season so far. But that you could say that about a load of teams. The only teams they lost to Miami and Memphis, and let's be honest, they're two decent sides. So
They're two good teams that you could like in them games, especially with form, like they could have gone either way. And like you said, they beat a lot of good teams. They beat LA as well, which obviously I know LA at the time they were not even on a single win. By the end of the day, it's still a team that has LeBron, AD, and all these other guys. Like, but they didn't, and this they don't look like they're slowing down. Dame doesn't look like he's catching any injuries or anything,
oh, he's
and
missed. He's
they're
missed the
picking
last
it
couple.
up.
He missed the last couple of games. He missed Memphis and Houston. So maybe that's something to
I
look at.
don't know. Well, maybe, but I don't think it'll be anything serious with Dame. Like when we were seeing him, he didn't like it was. I'm sure there was no on the court injury, so hopefully whatever it is, we don't miss too much Dame because we just got him back. We want to keep him. I can't
Yeah.
lie. I've been seeing like guys like this. Like we can't keep losing them. Like we've lost Kawhi again. We can't keep losing these guys because it's ruining the quality of the league. But other
Well,
than that,
I
Portland
don't.
have
I
been
mean,
unreal.
a bit of a segue, a bit of like a on off topic. I don't even think Kawhi's injured. I think the Clippers just don't want to play him. They don't want to risk him most of the time. But the Blazers, Dame's come in. He's averaging 31 so far, which, I mean, let's be honest. When you think about prime Dame, that's probably about 4 points per game less than what he's used to.
Yeah,
Anthony Simons, though, coming in, a lot of people respected how he played in the absence of Dane, but thought that maybe he wouldn't get as many touches or he wouldn't play as well next to someone with the quality of Dame. He's come in, he's averaging quite a few minutes, and he's averaging 22 points. Is like I think one of the main things that people were going to question about Portland were, are they going to lose CJ McCollum in a team that is competing? Like obviously they traded him last season
Mm,
and nobody really cared because they were committing to the draft. Obviously,
yeah,
obviously they picked Shaden Sharp from that, who's had a really good season so far. He looks really good.
yeah,
But a lot of people were thinking that Anthony Simons wasn't going to be that kind of CJ McCollum aid to Dame, but potentially now are we thinking Anthony Simons could be that guy?
100%. I mean, like you said, he's coming, he's holding it down, averaging 22. That's strong, and obviously CJ was a big miss, and New Orleans obviously they they're getting like the best out of CJ, and he's doing a lot for them. And obviously he was amazing for Portland, but like I wouldn't say right now they're missing him. If I'm being honest, I think that they've replaced him really well. The team's working well around it because obviously when you lose a big player, it you feel it for a while, but they've done really well. And as much as obviously New Orleans with CJ doing really well, I think Portland are doing really well without him. Not that they don't need him. Obviously, if he came back, I'm sure that would be amazing. But I don't think they need him right now. I think they've done pretty well without him.
No, definitely. Very a trade at the time that is now showing to kind of complement both teams.
100%.
Portland, they're only really going to get better too. Gary Payton hasn't played yet this season. People are saying that he's going to be coming back this month, potentially next week, I think is what I read. Um,
Yeah, I saw that.
Obviously, I mean, on paper, he isn't exactly the big star. He's not gonna get national TV cameras coming at him for his first game of the season. But you look at how Golden State have started the season; they're clearly missing someone like him
Mm,
on their bench. Do you think that this
100%.
is gonna definitely help Portland maybe maintain this strong start to the season, so it's not just a bit of a early season form? They can actually push on and maybe even finish top six towards the end of the season.
100%. I think Gary Payton, like last season, I was buzzing about him. Like almost every podcast episode, if you were talking about the Warriors, I was talking about him. Like, I think he's an amazing defender. I think he's great with the ball. I think he's always in the right place at the right time. And obviously, injuries, he's already caught a few, like, which isn't like a way you want to start your NBA career properly. But I think a perfect addition to that team to keep them stronger. Like, we see it all the time. We see teams start strong or they have a good run of form, but then, like, I don't know, the players maybe get tired or they like get a bit lackluster or something. But I think he's coming in at the perfect time just to maintain that like bit of success that they've got right now, and it could actually keep them going. And like I said, I really like him, and I think he's a good player. And when the Warriors got rid of him, I was quite shocked. But I think Portland have really like got a player in their hands here, and he's not even started
Yeah,
yet.
definitely adds a bit of extra depth to that guard position as well.
Hundred
And
percent,
it's
100%.
it's that experience winning a chip
Yeah,
that no
exactly.
no one else on that Portland Trailblazers side has really.
Mm.
Carrying on from Portland, Utah kind of faded off a little bit. They lost last night, despite being I think up double digits at halftime against Dallas, but Luca's Luca. Um,
Yeah.
that's just how it goes really. But
Hmm.
again, like we talked about in first week, I said that Colin Sexton could be most improved player slash sixth man of the year. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. He's kind of faded off a little bit, but as he fades off, Larry Markkinen comes up, and as a Bulls fan, I think loads of people are saying the Bulls shouldn't have got rid, but the fact of the matter is, he was never like it's kind of a case of when like you're a rookie and you get given the touches that you have, you're gonna score points. Larry Markkinen is obviously getting the most touches on this team pretty much, so he's obviously gonna score points. I don't think anyone expected him to do
Yeah.
it as efficiently as he has though. Could this just be a bit could
Hundred
this just
percent.
be a bit of run of form, or do we think I mean, I'm not saying this in the case of Portland and the fact that if Utah manage
Yeah,
to keep
yeah,
this up,
yeah,
they're gonna be a playoff team. Utah probably still aren't gonna be a playoff team, but let's be honest, they're
yeah.
they're an entertaining team to watch really because you don't really know what's going to happen with them because they don't really have a dedicated star.
100%. And I don't, yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't think they have like a main number one guy. Like, I think all their team is just quite strong. But I mean, it's a weird one with Utah because as much as we didn't expect them to start strong or have a great season. They've surprised everybody, and they keep coming with the shockers. Like they'll win these games here and there from against teams that we just don't expect. Um, but I don't know when they're gonna slow down. Like I know it's gonna happen. Maybe December time they might start to like when the league will start to get more into its like regular rhythm of the good teams doing good and the bad teams doing bad. Like I feel like at that point it'll start to make more like changes and stuff. But I think for now they're doing a great job of like holding down their own and trying to get wins early on when and like I think they're cashing in on opportunities. They can see teams aren't doing well and when they're playing against those teams they're beating them.
Yeah,
Even though they're big teams like beating LA and stuff like that. Like they're beating the good teams that they know they might not be able to beat later on in the season because that's when they'll be in their rhythm and the Jazz might get absolutely annihilated by these big
maybe,
teams. But for
maybe.
now they're doing the most that they can and it's working.
Yeah, they've had a tough schedule though. Memphis twice, Denver,
Now,
the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, Dallas. Like they've played a lot of tough Western Conference sides, and to come out with, I think they're on a 6-3. Yeah, a 6-3 record.
yeah.
That's nothing to be too ashamed of. Larry Markkinen though, looking at his stats compared to last season, he's up 7 points per game. His field goal percentage is above 50% for the first time in his career. He's averaging 9 rebounds, which is a career best, and he's averaging 2.6 assists, which is a like double what he usually gets per game, and he's also averaging a block in there as well. I mean, I'm not I'm not gonna like say to pop out players who we think are gonna win Most Improved Player, but he's got to be one of the front runners so far.
As of right now, absolutely. I mean, like you said, I mean, up 7 points per game is massive, and like you said, obviously, him being formerly a Chicago player, he was never like this. I think he's definitely stepped up his game in every aspect, and right now he's the guy for them. He's that guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's doing what he can, and he's showing out. And obviously, we've got a long season to go, but as of right now, you can't take him out, and I feel like he's probably gonna keep playing the way he's playing. Maybe not as efficiently, but we're not like I don't think he's gonna be like one of them players that starts the season really well, and then by the end of the season, we're like, what happened to him? So for most improved player, as of right now, he definitely is the most improved from the whole league. If he can keep that up, though, I don't know, but you'd like to see it. You'd like to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, from one Most Improved Player candidate to another, I think a lot of people expected Keldon Johnson on the Spurs to have a increase in his output because, well, the Spurs now have nobody and he's kind of like their main player. The
Yeah,
Spurs though, they lost their first game. They got absolutely annihilated by, I think it was Charlotte, who on paper don't have the best team now that Lamelo's out,
yeah,
Terry Rozier's out, and then
yeah.
Greg Popovich. He saw like they lost one game and he decided, you know what, I'm not tanking anymore, man. Like people are saying Danny Ainge, he doesn't do tanking. The last time Danny Ainge tried to tank the Utah Jazz GM, the last time he tried to tank on the Boston Celtics, he accidentally made him a 7th seed team. Got Greg Popovich. This ain't no accident. He saw his team lose and he was like, this ain't it. I
He's
am not
he's
a person that tanks.
he's a winner. He's a winner. We know what Pop can do. We know what he can do,
Yeah, I mean,
and
I saw something that said I saw like a tweet that said that Jakob Pertl, their center, is getting like they're gonna listen to offers for him, and I saw a reply that was like, "This is because he's winning too much. He's too good for them. Get him gone."
yeah, I mean that's they're all. I don't even think anyone on that team is that good. I think he just made them look that good. I think Poppy is the type of guy that can do that as well. He can make a decent player look really well as long as he's coached them right and they actually like hear his coaching and play it out right on the court. And that's exactly what he's doing. And I like you said, I think he just saw them losing. I was like, forget that. No, I'm not about this. Like he's an old school coach as well, man. I don't think they used to believe in tanking back in the day, and he's probably not about it. Like, and I respect that to be honest. At least he's
Tanking isn't
actually,
part of his forte. He don't do it.
yeah, no chance. I mean, this guy's won a chip before. Why is he gonna start tanking
A chip,
for
just the
Webby?
one.
Just just that one, but it's still a strong chip. You know, he's a legend of the
Just put a
game. He's
bit
a
more
Hall of
punch in
Famer
there.
coach.
No, yeah, legend. Um, yeah, I mean, they're gonna say they've kind of already like dropped off a little bit. They got absolutely demolished by Toronto last night. Um, yeah, when
Yeah.
I was writing all this down before last night's games, it was looking pretty promising. But then Utah lost,
Mm.
San Antonio lost. So yeah, not looking too great. But
I'm sure they lost by like 47
yeah,
points as well.
43 it was in the end. Yeah, let up 143 points
Stupid.
to
That's
to the
crazy.
Raptors. Pascal Siakam's putting up banger numbers as well. Just side note,
Yeah,
side
he
note.
is.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
like so many things that nobody expected was going to happen is happening. And I think another thing that, well, at least I wasn't expecting, but I think quite a few people still expected was that the the Suns are still doing bits, even though their team was in a bit of turmoil. DeAndre Ayton's not even playing, and they're still 6-1. Um, you got to think that if this carries on, he's going to get traded at the deadline or something like that. Like if they can win without him, why keep him? Especially if you don't want to be there.
That's true. 100%. I mean, obviously he's filling up a lot of cap space right now as well. That's the main thing. If they're not playing him and they're winning, but then again, I feel like you said, obviously the season has kind of just started. I don't think they'd rush too much into a decision for that. If they get rid of him, that's whether he's playing or not. He's still a big player to have
Mm.
at your disposal, kind of thing. And I think once he does start playing, they'll just get even better. He's one of them players. He's not going to make your team worse. He's going to make your team better. And although they're paying a lot of money for him, he's a good player. Maybe not worth the amount of money they're paying, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes I don't see them trading him. To be honest, I don't think that could I don't think it makes sense. Just based on the fact that I don't see who it'd have to be a big trade. Like they'd either get like hella picks or like it'd be a big player for a big player or something like that. I don't know, but I don't see that happening. But at the same time, I can understand where you're coming from. Like the guy's not really playing, but they're still winning. Which, I mean, we didn't think they were going to
No,
be
definitely.
that
Yeah,
good, especially from the jump of the season. Like we were violating them before the season started. And if he starts playing, I only see them getting better, to be honest.
fair.
But that's if he starts playing. Whether that happens or not, I don't even know. And if he doesn't end up playing, then he probably will end up getting traded, to be honest.
Well, this is all like it is interesting to see because this like Devin Booker isn't shooting the lights out, and this
Mm,
is this is all like he's still averaging 27, which but you're good when you're averaging 27 and it's people saying nah he's just having a bit of an average season. He's just doing
yeah,
what he does.
yeah,
Like this is also happening during Chris Paul's worst shooting run of his career. Pretty much, he's shooting less than 40% from the
yeah.
field. He's only averaging just over 10 points. Like I
Yeah,
know he's I
CP
know
is
he's
losing
obviously,
it
I
at
know
the
he's obviously
moment,
not the
like
primary point scorer, but the efficiency ain't there for Chris Paul at the moment. And if he
100%.
can still be 6-1 without your main center that you've just dropped 120 mil on, and your
Yeah,
point guard not doing as well, then
yeah.
maybe Phoenix are the new regular season kings because let's be honest, they still haven't really shown us much in the off season except like in the postseason,
Yeah,
bar the team that went to the finals.
yeah, that's true. I mean, obviously last year we saw them absolutely flop so hard in the playoffs, but if they're playing like this and they keep it up, I mean, D-Book will find his rhythm soon. As much as CP is kind of losing his quality, obviously he's still got that veterancy in him, and you can never write that off. And he will probably pick up some sort of form soon. And then if they start DeAndre Ayton as well, once he starts playing, they're gonna end up having an amazing season and probably another great record. Um, if they keep this up.
Yeah,
Again, obviously, like we said, we've not seen much from them in the playoffs, but I don't know, maybe they're warming up for a bit of a shock surprise on
yeah,
everybody.
I'm gonna say you never know, you never know. I mean, it is still promising that you're not playing to the best of your abilities. You
Mm,
know your team's not as strong, but you're still
mm,
kind of dominating at the moment out west. Out west. Well, Phoenix are dominating out west. The side that are dominating out east, though, are Milwaukee, the only undefeated team left in the NBA. Probably the going on the quietest 7-0 run I think you've ever seen.
yeah,
I haven't really seen many highlights other than the classic like Giannis dunk or something like that.
Yeah.
This is all.
I saw one from yesterday from Drew Holiday, and that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
about it as
yeah.
well.
This is all happening without Chris Middleton, by the way.
Yeah.
He's still out, which I feel for him. I'm pretty sure nobody expected him to be out for this long when he got injured in the playoffs last year. But yeah, the Bucks not really played too many like hard teams, you could say. They played the Pistons twice. Who
Yeah.
else? I think they played like Houston. So they haven't played
Yeah.
a lot of tough games, but to go 7-0 to begin the season.
It's a strong way to start the
No,
season.
of course it is. Like, and Brook Lopez, like people are. I'm pretty sure Brook Lopez was actually top 10 in MVP ranking the other week as well.
That's
So
crazy.
bi-
That's
big up
crazy.
Brook Lopez.
Big up, bro.
He owns the weirdest stat that I've ever heard of. I think it's still mental that he is the Brooklyn Nets all time leading scorer.
Wait, what?
Brook Lopez is the Brooklyn Nets' all-time
Yeah,
leading scorer.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it boggles my mind that's a thing. But we digress. Yeah, like this guy I'm pretty sure has like the most blocks in the league by like a long shot, and that's kind
Yeah,
of what is helping the Milwaukee Bucks so far, and the fact that their front court defensively unmatched. Giannis and
yeah,
Brook Lopez are on the court, not many people are getting past them defensively, and
100%.
they've you look at their results. Obviously, they held the Pistons to less than 100 last night. So I'm gonna try and see what their other results were. But yeah, talk to me about Giannis while I do that. Obviously, people are saying that he could be MVP this year.
I mean, with Giannis, you can never ever write off him being the MVP because at the end of the day, he is Giannis. And I want to do two things. One, I want to apologize for the most outlandish thing I've ever said in my life on the last episode when I said that the Warriors could hold their own season record. That was crazy. I don't know what I was smoking,
Yeah,
but
they're
I
over they're
can
over
say
halfway at
though,
dropping it. Yeah.
yeah, they're literally almost there. Like they're knocking on the door of dropping it. But I can't say if the Bucks did it though, that wouldn't shock me. I mean, like you said, they are 7-0. It's not been a loud 7-0 run, but Giannis is just one of them players. Who's gonna stop him? Who's actually gonna stop Giannis? I've never. I don't know. I don't see them losing to
Well, I mean,
many of these
let's
teams
let's be
right
honest.
now
That's been the question that the NBA has been asking for the
for
last
years.
3-4 years now.
And their team looks so much better than they did last year as well, which is my like main takeaway from that. Like last year, obviously they were good, but I mean we saw them get knocked out in the playoffs, and that was a bit of a shock to everybody. Like no one saw the Celtics beating Milwaukee ever, and like that was obviously came to a shock to everybody. And to me, I don't see anybody in that East team beating them in a 7 game run.
Mhm. Mhm.
Nobody.
For real.
I mean, unless something crazy happens and I don't know, LeBron and Steph and I don't know, Zion get traded to Boston, I don't see anybody. I feel like the only team right now that are on their level, I have to say Cleveland, because Cleveland are
I was
absolutely
gonna say,
unreal right now.
we will come back. You know what? We'll move on to it now. Milwaukee are doing bits,
Yeah,
but a lot of people are saying that Cleveland and Boston could be the conference finals. Um,
for real?
yeah, like I think maybe not conference finals, but I really want to see them in the playoffs.
Oh
Last week
yeah,
they played each other twice. Both games went to overtime,
yeah.
and I mean, like I watched I watched the Bulls Hornets game last night. I love the Bulls, but let's be honest, Cleveland Boston was where it was at last night. What a game!
Yeah,
What a game!
yeah.
Literally, like end of the first quarter, Cleveland were up like double digits. Then at halftime, Boston were up double digits, and then at the end of the third, Cleveland were up double digits again, and then obviously tie game, overtime, game goes down to the final shot, really. And in the end, Cleveland win to extend their lead to 6-1. Really, I did not expect this at the start from Cleveland. Like I remember when I said where I put them. I think I put them sixth, either sixth or fifth, and I said that they'd finish strongly, but they'd start a bit poorly. They're not starting poorly at
But
all.
it's been, yeah, they haven't. And to be honest, you cannot say Cleveland aren't contenders. I know it's like crazy to say because Cleveland haven't been massive in the league since LeBron was there, but right now they are the team to beat in the
Yeah,
East as well as
it's
Milwaukee.
crazy. Like, and you look at how young this team is as well. Like,
100%, 100%.
this is
I
a
mean,
team full of potentially four All Stars, and like they're still all under 25 or something like that. Yeah,
yeah, like I mean, I'm sure out of their starting five, like Donovan Mitchell is oldest and he's only 25 or something like
yeah, it's
that,
crazy.
which is
Yeah,
crazy. Like, but I mean, yeah, you can't say that they aren't contenders right now, as much as it's a weird thing to see because, like, for so long, like the contenders have always been the same teams, like, and it just kind of it came out of nowhere because obviously nobody expected that trade to happen, and Donovan Mitchell is doing his absolute best at proving why he deserved that big trade away from Utah and that the money and everything, and you gotta respect it. I mean, Cleveland are doing amazing, and I don't see many teams stopping them right now. Like you said, but them and Boston going to overtime twice is crazy. Like, but they're unreal right now, and I mean somebody's got to beat them soon because I don't like the way I'm seeing Donovan Mitchell putting up too many points. It's not making me smile, man. It ain't making me smile at
yeah.
all.
Donovan Mitchell absolutely killing it out there. Darius Garland making his return last night as well.
And he was
Yeah,
unreal too
yeah.
as well.
He led at least the Cavs in scoring. Did he lead the game in scoring? No, Jalen Brown got 30, but he came back, dropped 29, dropped 29, 12 assists, shot relatively good from the field. This this is it's going to be interesting to see because when when either one of them are playing, it's easy to run the offense through
Uh,
them. It will be interesting to see how everything kind of like is shared between them two as the season goes on.
I just blanked out. I don't know why I did that. No, you're right though. Like, sorry, you're gonna have to say that again, bro. I don't know what happened. I just blanked out.
Sully.exe has stopped working.
I
It's
just
getting into
logged out for a
a
minute.
hard reboot. Yeah, I was saying when it'd be interesting to see how the offense is shared between them. Now that they're both back,
Be- Between who?
like
Oh,
Garland and Mitchell.
yeah. Garland and Mitchell. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, like the league, when the news came out that Darius Garland was coming back, there was shivers. The guy is unreal, and I mean, I'm seeing clips of him last night. Unfortunately, I'm mad I didn't watch the game, but like I was seeing clips of him, and the guy was just balling out, and it's kind of like the whole like with Atlanta, who I'm guessing we'll talk about soon, like how even though they're both, in my opinion, playing well, Trey Young and DeJounte Murray, like it's kind of like they're not really sharing the points that well. Either one of them has a lot, or the other one has a
Yeah,
lot.
I
So
wasn't planning on talking about Atlanta, but yeah, we can touch on them.
we
Yeah,
can, we can, we can. But yeah, I mean, well, it'll be nice to see how they're gonna share it. I mean, I've seen their dynamic, like through videos and stuff like that, and it looks like they've got a good work, like on the court dynamic and stuff like that, and even off the court as well. I've seen them like pictured around like chilling with each other and stuff like that. So clearly they're like made good friends with each other while joining the team. So I doubt we'll see any like on the court beef and like trying to not pass up the ball and stuff like that. But it'll be good to see. And like I think obviously now the Cavs have just got even more stronger, which is not good for the league
yeah,
right now, and not
yeah,
good at all.
definitely. But the fact is though, it's whoever has the best team chemistry really that pulls through at the in the end, as
Yeah,
we've seen from the likes of Brooklyn, who have fired Steve Nash. If you guys didn't see on our TikTok, I did a reaction, like immediate reaction to it. So
like literally
but
instantly. Like I got the news on Sam's TikTok
He did.
before
Yeah,
on Sky
yeah,
Sports.
definitely. So go check that out in the description. Yeah, this happened 3 days ago. Two days
Yeah, I
ago.
think it was like few days
Yeah,
ago, 2 3 days ago.
yeah. So, but a bit.
It's a bit of a Halloween special
Yeah,
for from Brooklyn.
yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a scary start to the season from them, you may say. Um, no, yeah, they've been poor. Steve Nash, it's kind of been coming. Um, I mean, I don't know. They then got beat by the Bulls, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know really. Like, it was a very close game though. When like until Zach LaVine took over. Like, I don't know. Is Steve Nash the issue? We're gonna definitely see. I do feel
I
for Steve
mean,
Nash though. Let's be honest.
I don't. I think he's one of the driest coaches I've ever seen in my life. Like, yeah, he was a good player in his day. Like, he was amazing. Like, but like sometimes coaching isn't for everybody. It definitely wasn't for him. I mean, come on, you've got some of the best players in the league on your team, and like he literally like he made them look like me and you could do better than them on the court. Like, come on, man, how have you got Kyrie and KD and you're getting swept in the playoffs? That's not right. That shouldn't be happening. At least win one game in the series. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he was robbing a living. Like, I don't know how he didn't get fired after the sweep. To be honest, honestly, I was shocked after like a couple of weeks, and he still had that job. But and then obviously with everything what happened in the off season with the KD situation, he was like, it's either me or Steve Nash, and clearly they've now chosen
Yeah,
KD,
because
which
it was interesting because I mean I remember saying in the TikTok, and it's probably not factually correct now, but this is this is a guy that KD and Kyrie essentially hired themselves because they wanted, like, this is why I'm saying, it's a bit of a, I feel sorry for Steve Nash, and I think it was Charles
mm,
Barkley who said that, or Chuck, I forget, but who said he was a scapegoat because he was kind of brought in to just kind of stand there and act as a manager, as a coach, whilst Katie and Kyrie did their business. Like, it was
mm,
media day last year, was it, where Kyrie said, "We have no coach, like we have no head coach." And a lot of people may have taken that in the way of, like, Steve Nash is such a cool guy that he doesn't feel like he's a
yeah,
coach. But let's be honest,
yeah, he's our friend, man. He's not a coach. He's
yeah,
our
but
friend.
let's
He's
be honest, a lot of people, myself included, took that as, he's not here to coach. He's here to stand on the sideline whilst we do whatever we want. And obviously, it's not worked.
mm,
It just shows how important coaching really is.
yeah. I mean, I've always thought like coaching is a massive part of the game, despite what some people say, or like a super
No, I'm
team
gonna say
and this and that. But like we've seen,
I've already, I think I've said on the podcast many times before that I don't rate Steve Kerr as much as everyone else does, but I think maybe after seeing what Brooklyn's been going through, after seeing how LA have started the season, although they're picking it up a little bit
mm,
now, but after seeing how LA
yeah,
started the season, maybe it's a case of you need good coaching as well as good players.
100%. And I think if and I mean, it's looking like it could happen, but if Coach Udoka joins the Brooklyn Nets, then I don't even know
I'm,
what to
I
say. They
might
might as well
I
call
might
the
not
league
look
off.
a fool for putting him first in my predictions. Is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, oh no, absolutely. That would be the biggest saving grace in the history of predictions, just
Like, I
in
mean,
general. All the
if
predictions
there's
in the
if
world.
there's one thing that Coach Udoka brings to a side, it's defense. And
That's what they
Brooklyn
need,
has, I think, the worst defensive rating in the league. So if
probably.
if Udoka can come in and just make them a solid defensive team, they should be a playoff team with the likes of Kyrie
Oh
and
yeah, of course.
KD and
Because we know offense isn't their issue. Like they've got two of the best
It's
players in
it's
the
just the
league.
fact
Like
it's
they've
just
got
the fact that other
KD.
than that, they don't really have many other offensive weapons. Like when you
True. I
have
mean,
Ben Simmons and Nicholas Claxton as some of your starting five, that's not really good. Obviously, sorry, not Steph. He don't play for him. Seth Curry, I think, is injured at the moment. So obviously, when he comes back, that's a big piece.
yeah, 100%. I mean, he's a bucket. Like not like his brother, but
Shoots
he's.
it shoots
I
it
mean,
more
you can
efficiently
tell
than
what.
his brother though. So
Yeah, true. But I mean, with the whole Ben Simmons thing, he hasn't really started off that strong. But at the same time, like Kyrie made a great point. He said the guy's not played basketball in like 2.5 years. Which I mean, it's a fair point, but come on, man. I mean, the guy, how are you airballing a layup, bro? I've never done that in my life, and I don't play professional. I don't even play amateur basketball. I just play for fun. I've never airballed a layup. How is he airballing a layup? Bro, he gets paid to do this. Kyrie, I know he's your boy. You don't need to back him like that. Like when you see that, you just don't say anything. You don't back him up, but you don't say anything. You just leave it.
Yeah,
But I mean, if Coach Udoka comes, like you said, he brings defense, and that's obviously where Ben Simmons is strong. We've seen like even this season so far, we've seen like some like strong defensive plays from him, and I think Coach Udoka will only maximize that from Ben Simmons because we know defensively he's a strong player, and he'll probably get the most out of him. And then, like you said, they are definitely a playoff team. They'll pick back up straight away. I mean, Boston seem to be doing okay without him. I mean, it just makes the Boston and the Boston and Brooklyn game so much
yeah,
better.
it does.
Like, I mean, it's already so heated after the sweep as well, and now Coach Udoka switching sides. It's going to be a mad one. But if that happens, I would say I'm for it, but I don't know if I am because then that just means Brooklyn are going to win. And yeah, I mean, I don't really think anybody actually want Brooklyn to win the chip.
No,
Like, I don't
no,
actually
no,
know.
no chance, no chance. But if it
Nah. But then again, Ben Simmons with a chip would be
it would be quite
hilarious, so
funny.
I'm
It
not
would be
gonna
quite
lie.
funny. If it does happen though, female coaches on the Brooklyn Nets, be aware. Finally, before we move on to our predictions, I guess we're going to talk about the reigning champions, the Golden State Warriors. Very poor start, you would say, 3-5 to begin
Yeah,
the season.
yeah, it's been
Yeah, and
shocking.
especially
It's been
especially with
shocking
everything
from
that
them.
happened at the start of the season with the whole Jordan Poole, Draymond Green situation. It's
Mm,
not working. I'm gonna give you a fun start here, which is probably a testament to how bad the bigs of Golden State have been so far. Stephen Curry's averaging 7.5 rebounds a game so far this season. Bit
that
bit
is,
bit bit
I
of a
mean,
random start. He got a triple double the other night. What a guy. Still lost, but
yeah. To be fair, I mean, Steph, he's still doing his thing. To be fair, like on the court, like he hasn't really slowed down. I think the team, I think it's just one of them ones. They've kind of like a lot of other teams. They just started a bit slowly. I don't see them
yeah,
like
definitely, I think
dropping
so.
off, and
I think
like they're still finishing top
yeah,
three
you
probably.
think so. I think it's interesting because we were saying back end of last season and before the season started that this season, yes, they're going to have lost the likes of Otto Porter and Gary Payton, but they're going to have the likes of Wiseman and Kuminga coming through. They've
Yeah,
played terribly so far this season, though. Like to the point where
yeah. James Wiseman is not.
Kuminga's not getting any playing time. Wiseman's very much heading towards that level. He can't defend like at all,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I would say the only thing with James Wiseman is I feel like because obviously he's had a whole year out and it's not like he's still fairly new to the league, so he's the only one. I mean, I don't know because I want to feel for the guy because obviously he had a whole year and a bit out of the league and he's now come back to a team where the expectations are so high, like they just off a chip and everyone's expecting him to be like, I don't know, on level with Zion because he's massive and he should be able to defend and everything. And I feel like it needs to take his time, but I still back James Wiseman. I think when like he's a bit more settled and like the team has started to find their rhythm again, I think he's going to be a really good asset for them and he's going to be great for them this season. I think he just started off really poorly. Like, and I mean, like, poorly ain't even the right word. Like, the guy has started atrociously. It's not a great start for him.
No.
Hopefully, he can pick it up though, because I genuinely believe the guy is good. He just needs like a a bit more longer than everybody else to get back into it.
Here's hoping you'd think, just for his
Yeah,
sake and his career, you think
yeah,
maybe,
true.
and I know it's obviously like there's no such thing as like loaning players in the NBA, but may,
Imagine
maybe having this situation on a team that has the expectations of Golden State isn't really helping them out.
it's not the yeah, it's not the place you wanna be at, like where you're finding your form again. Like if it was, I don't know, somewhere else,
Yeah,
somewhere I don't know, Utah or
yeah, like
something,
one
where
of the teams
the
that aren't expecting to
expectations
do well
aren't.
this year. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone is expecting the Golden State to go back to back. Like they have the quality, they've got the players, and everyone's expecting it. We're kind of expecting it, and obviously now James Wiseman, he's come in. Everybody knows like he was a big prospect in the draft, and it wasn't even that long ago. And now he's obviously come in. He's back. Everyone like it was the whole thing. Oh, James Wiseman's back, and he was playing preseason and everything. But as of right now, it doesn't look like he's back.
No.
Like it looks like they left him. But I feel like he's coming soon. He needs some time. But I think once he finds it, then it's
Like I
wraps
said, here's
for,
hoping.
for
I mean, you've had a pretty awful Warriors take so far this season. Let's
I
hope that
did. That was
let's hope that
appalling.
this isn't a second one.
Yeah, as long as nobody clips that first one, it's calm.
Well, I'll try not to. No, that'll probably conclude the regular scheduled. Well, it's not really regular. The irregular, the review part as we move on to predictions, and we start with the Warriors because they are going to New Orleans later this week. Oh, but well, again, because I lost last week, last time, obviously, as I haven't mentioned it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I won
you won last time out. Um,
money.
you
I
won,
remember that
you won.
last year. I started on
Yeah,
like
you
a
did. You
seven
did
and
bits.
0 run as
I
well.
mean,
It was peak.
if I'm gonna be honest with you, we predicted the wrong winner in 3 of the 6 games. So
Oh, that
yeah,
was long. So I won
you
by
won by
like
2. Yeah,
just
it was a pretty poor
yeah.
showing from both of us. You may say, but you are 1-0 up in this week's predictions as we go.
Win's a win.
It's a scrappy 1-0. Both sides have scored under 100. It's a poor offensive showing, but yeah,
At the end of the day,
yeah,
a
a
win's a
win is a
win.
win. It's like watching Ben Simmons and Matisse Tybal in a 3-point contest. You're probably only gonna get like
You get to see one 3-pointer
yeah,
go
that's gonna
in
be it.
from the crowd.
we start with the Warriors going to the Pelicans. The Pelicans have had a bit of an injury worry as of late. They are currently on a
Yeah,
4-3 record though, so big ups to them. I think they might have lost a few recently. I completely forget, but you got to think that if I never thought I'd actually say this over the last few seasons, but you got to think if the Pelicans are healthy, then this might be a dub, especially given the Warriors haven't yet won away from home.
100%. I mean, this is one of them games right now. Like, if both teams are healthy, you never know which way it could go. Obviously, with the Warriors, they haven't started well, but they've obviously still got one of the best teams in the league. The Pelicans are playing
Oh yeah,
amazing, and they've got a great squad.
the Pelicans lost last night. Again,
They
that's
did
another
lose.
thing that we didn't mention. Big Matt Ryan, what a legend! Came on in the fourth quarter for the Lakers, scored his 2 big shots, and then got told to sit back down. Um, let everyone else play now.
Big shots, though.
Big
Big,
shots,
big
big
shots.
shots. Big up Matt Ryan. It reminds me of Austin Reeves scored a game
Yeah, I
winner.
remember
It
Austin
was
Reeves.
I want to say Golden State, but it probably wasn't Golden State. But it was like a big game. It reminds me of
Yeah, yeah, I remember that one. That was
yeah,
massive. That I remember
Matt,
that. That was huge. LeBron was going
yeah,
crazy, and then when like he was tweeting him and
yeah,
everything. Yeah,
reminded me a lot of that. So the Pelicans, they've been on a bit of a shaky split of games.
mm,
But Zion's still playing, CJ's still playing, but obviously Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones are both out.
yeah.
Do we think that'll be the case for the Warriors game? And if so, what do we think is going to happen? I'll let you take this. Take the first one here.
I think it's gonna have to be a Warriors
Okay.
dub. I backed them last time. you know me. I always like to back the Warriors. I think it's a Warriors dub. I think it's gonna be a tough game though. I think it's gonna be a slim one. I think it could only be between digits. I don't think it'll be like a blowout at all. And I mean, there's only ever one guy to pick. There's only ever one guy. It's gonna have to be the most inspirational man in the
Fair
league.
enough.
He's gonna do. He has been like scoring
Yeah, he's
amazingly as
still
well,
averaging
despite the
still
team
averaging
not
30.
being well.
Classic stuff.
Yeah,
Really.
30 averaging 30. He's that cold, and I feel like he's just gonna do the same thing.
Fair enough.
He's gonna do what he's been
You're
doing.
going with Steph. I
I'm
think the
going with
Pelicans are going to win.
Okay.
Like, and you know, we've been talking about how awful Golden State's like front court has been. So
True.
for that reason, Zion 2020 game though, probably not that much, but Zion's still gonna like eat them
Yeah.
up inside pretty much.
Is it? It's a good shout to be fair, Zion. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Zion prediction. I respect it.
Secondly, the Blazers and the Suns, the top two teams out west, play each other twice
Mm,
this week. Both games are at Phoenix, so Blazers get a nice little holiday in
trip
Phoenix.
out there. Yeah.
Um, we're gonna go with the second game, just
Okay.
because. I don't
All
know. I
right.
think it's a back to back though, so this is probably why I picked the second game because it's interesting to see how a back to back affects both teams.
Yeah.
I'm going first on this one, aren't I? Sorry.
Now you are. You are.
I think that the I think both of them are going to win one game each. Is what I think is going to happen, and I think
Okay.
the Suns will take the second game. I just
Okay.
think that they have it. In fact, not. I don't know. They have it in them. I think they've been together for a little bit longer. They know how to do it in the regular season. They probably know how to do it on back to back games. This Blazers team probably might not, and especially given that Dame's coming back. I know obviously with Zach LaVine, the Bulls have been sitting in for one half of the of back to backs, although he did play both games the last two nights. So you never know. That might happen with one or two people. So
Mm.
I think it's going to be the Suns, and again when it's the Suns, especially when CP3 ain't doing bits, there's only one man to choose.
There's only
I'm
ever
going to go
one.
with Devin Booker.
Yeah, it's a shout. It's a shout. I mean, if we're going on the second game, I think you're right that they're both going to win one game, but I think the Suns win the first game and then Portland win the second game to take it home. And I think, like I said, it has to be Dame time for this one. If he misses the first game, he's definitely playing the second game to get that, win back that they lost, and it's a Dame time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Back to the Pelicans now as they travel to Atlanta to play the Hawks. Two very young, exciting teams. You could
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, but both sides haven't exactly set the house on fire so far. Although Atlanta top four seed out east. Trey Young's still not really doing it so far, but he's still getting the points. Um,
yeah. I mean, we're split on this one because I think Trey Young's actually playing well despite
I
like
think it's just
I think,
like he's still averaging like 28, so he's just set such a good standard
yeah,
for himself that
yeah. That's true.
when
That's
he is
true.
shooting 42% or however much he's shooting, it's like he can be doing better. We've seen him do better.
He
Um,
can be, of course.
but with Dejounte there, he's finally got another guy that can also average 20, 22. I think he's on. Who have you got for this one?
Ah, I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
Okay,
I think Dejounte's been getting them buckets as well. I think he's gonna do that again. I think Dejounte's gonna lead the game, and Atlanta are gonna win. I don't think it's gonna be very like it's not gonna be a blowout game or anything. I think it's gonna be kind of close. Um,
so you're going
so yeah, I think
Dejounte.
yes,
Damn. Okay. It's just the fact that both sides have like good defensive backcourts. Obviously, Trey Young isn't good defensively, but like Dejounte Murray is probably going to be on CJ McCollum, so CJ's probably not going to have the best output. In the same way, like if Herb Jones is back, then he'll probably be on Trey. If not, then they've got Alvarado off the bench. Um,
yeah,
so whether he gets that Trey assignment, who knows? I'm gonna go with Zion again.
okay.
I'm gonna back
And
Zion.
again, it's not a
The
bad show.
Pelicans.
You can never not back a Zion prediction. Like 9 out of 10 times, it will probably go your way. The guy's just cold, man.
Exactly. Fourth game, Cavs at Clippers. Another interconference. Well, the first interconference. No, another interconference game. Sorry. Again, the Cavs have been so solid, but the Clippers, you never know. You never know with the Clippers. They've started on like 4-4. So who knows who knows what's going to happen with the Clippers? Who knows if Kawhi's going to play?
Yeah,
all up in the air with the Clippers. Very question mark team, and because of that, I'm going to go with the Cavs because they've been less of a question mark team. Do I? Who do I think it's going to be? That's just the Clippers have such a good defensive core, but I do think that even though John Wall is still like he's playing so well this season, like
He is. Oh my days, John Wall is.
way better than a lot of people expected him to.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but even though that's happening, I'm still gonna back a Darius Garland masterclass.
That's calm. To be fair, whichever guy you was gonna pick, I was just gonna pick the other guy. So I mean, as much as the Clippers are playing semi decent, obviously, like their record isn't amazing, but at the same time, we are still seeing some of their players shine. PG as well is having like some good games. John Wall off the bench is quite strong. Whenever we actually get Kawhi in full swing, he's going to be that as well. But as of right now, not what I expected from them. But like I said, I mean the team it's a new look of the Clippers, so I don't expect them to have an amazing start. But again, I'm gonna go with the Cavs like you, and I'm gonna go with D Mitch. I think, I mean, he's just one of them guys
Yeah,
right now.
he
You
is that
can't
guy.
not
I
back
think a lot
him.
of people underestimated how well he actually is.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, now we're all seeing it. All eyes on the Cavs
Yeah,
now. I mean, they've not had this much traction probably since LeBron,
hmm
which is kind of
yeah.
crazy to see to say.
But
Like,
both times.
yeah, both
Yeah,
times.
but both like probably since 2002 they haven't had this much traction. But they probably didn't even get that much traction in 2002, which is why they got Bron. But I digress.
Yeah,
I digress. Penultimate game: the Suns at the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves again, another team that have just been very average so far this season. Rudy Gobert, he's
yeah.
taking a bit of time to settle in. Anthony Edwards, he's taking a bit of time to get going. Cat is taking time to adjust
Mm,
as a stretch four now instead of a five. So it is all like transitional for the Timberwolves. Second time we've got the Suns in. I backed the Suns for this one. I'm not going to back the Suns. Sorry, I backed the Suns for last one. I'm not going to back the Suns for this one though. In fact, no, it's your
okay.
choice first actually. So who knows? I might end up having to
Mm.
back the Timberwolves if you, depending on what you say.
No, I mean that's the thing. I'm I'm unsure about this Timberwolves team as much as Rudy Gobert is playing okay and Cat is playing okay and Anthony Edwards is playing okay. They're not playing amazing and definitely not what I expected them to. I mean, to be fair, I never actually backed them in the predictions at the start of the season anyway. But even then, I still expected something from them, but they're not really showing out right now. It probably will take them a minute and they probably will come through. But as of right now, they're not. Um, so I will go on back to Suns anyway, even though I could have just done you in as a laugh,
Fair enough.
but I'm a good friend. I'm a good friend to you, Sam. But again, a D book masterclass. You can never not back it. I feel like he's gonna be that guy. As of then again, I mean, Minnesota are still a strong team defensively, but I still think D book is gonna be that guy.
Okay.
Or Rudy's gonna absolutely pocket the life of him. Either one of them is gonna happen.
Okay. I'm gonna go on a bit of a left, bit of an alternative pick here. Then Cameron Johnson. Why not? Dropped almost a 30 piece the other night. So yeah, why not? Cameron Johnson coming in hot. I think he could potentially drop close to 30 again. Who knows? We've seen him do it again. We've seen him do it already this season. Who knows if he can do it again? As we move to the final game, the battle for New York, Knicks at Nets. Both sides not exactly having the best season so far, and
I don't think we're playing that badly though,
no,
all things considered.
no, three and four. Obviously, you haven't played as many games as everyone else has. Um, I think you
True.
did throw away that game against the Hawks last night though, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
that is true.
Um, Jalen Brunson, I think you do have a very solid team. Like you can beat anyone, but you can also lose to pretty much anyone.
Yeah.
Um, I reckon the Nets have got this personally. I mean, they might have Udoka by this time next week, when this
Jesus
game
Christ.
happens. But even without, I think the Nets might still have it. And when you back the Nets, it's one of two really. And Kyrie, he had a poor game
Yeah.
against the Bulls, so I reckon Durant.
or Ben Simmons. It's obviously the carry of Ben Simmons to back. To be honest, like there's no one really
True,
else
true.
there.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I'm about this random guy called Kevin Durant. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of him.
No, no, no. I'm not. Is he? I don't know. I've heard he's like a bit of a shooter, but that's it. I don't really know much. I doubt he's any good
Right.
though.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna back him. Who you?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a crazy pick from you. I've never heard of that guy
Yeah.
before. Um,
Pick Ben Simmons. You want?
no, I mean, you won't. Nah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Jalen Brunson, man. I think the guy's been great for us. Obviously, all things considered, it could have been D Mitch, but it's not. It's Jalen Brunson. And although obviously it's you would have wanted the first choice, it's not a bad like replacement of what we could have had. And like I said, I'm quite a big fan of him. I think he's quite good, and I think we could take this one. And I think Jalen Brunson would be the guy to lead us to that victory. And for that reason, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna be a good supporter
Fair enough.
for
Fair
once.
enough. Optimistic. Although to be fair, with the Nets, you never know. It might be.
I don't think it's that
Yeah.
optimistic right now. That's what
With the
I'm
Nets, it
saying.
might be expected. Who knows? Who knows? But that will conclude our predictions, and that will conclude this week's podcast episode. Yeah. So obviously, hopefully this podcast will be the only video uploaded this week. Who knows? But thank you guys
Who knows?
so much for watching. And because of that, it means there won't be like seasons probably of the podcast. It'll just be a podcast. Not like that matters really, but anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to the YouTube. Make sure you're sharing it out no matter what you're listening on. Follow our socials. They're all in the description. Stay notified just in case we don't post anything other than a podcast this week. Who knows? Who knows? We might have some ideas.
Who
And
knows?
yeah, me
And watch the
yeah,
TikToks, man.
watch
Watch
the
the
TikToks
TikToks.
too. And me and Sully will see you guys next week for some more Beyond the Arc. Peace.